In today's video, I'm going to give you 3 secrets to balancing growing a woodworking business and balancing the rest of your life. Let's dive in. All right, well, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the podcast. As always, I'm so glad that you're here. In today's video, I want to walk you through the secret to balancing and growing a woodworking business and managing and balancing the rest of your life. I'm going to give you 3 tips today, and the first one that I believe is a huge key to staying balanced is understanding the seasonality of your work. There is, in my opinion, a myth in culture about living a balanced life, and that at all times you're going to be a balanced person. And the truth is, anybody that's growing anything, so anybody that is trying to take care of themselves physically, anybody that's trying to grow a business or grow a ministry, there are going to be moments that you are going to be out of balance. I believe that life is not about perfect balance 24/7, but what it is about is understanding that you're going to be out of balance at times, but returning back to a place of balance when you get through with that season. So what that looks like is understanding that there are going to be times when your business is growing rapidly or you're pushing hard and you're doing things, but you just have to monitor yourself and not get lost in it. And you have to come back to balance. So what is balance? Okay, let's just put a definition on that before we even get started. Balance is not neglecting your spouse and your children. Balance is not neglecting your relationship with the Lord. Balance is not neglecting your health. Balance is being successful in more than just one thing. I don't want to build my entire identity on just building one thing. I want to be balanced and find my identity in lots of things, right? Because as soon as that one thing crumbles, then I've lost who I am. I've lost my identity in something, as opposed to being known as a child of God, being known as a husband and a father, being known as a musician, as a business owner, being known as an athlete. These are all things that my identity is kind of divvied up among these things. And so if I go down and I hurt my knee and I'm no longer an athlete, well, my entire identity doesn't crumble. But being balanced, I believe personally, is about being able to give your best to lots of different things and knowing that there are going to be seasons that you need to give more of your best to one area or another. So I would say that you need to, if you're going to balance growing a woodworking business and the rest of your life, you need to understand that there are going to be seasons that you're pushing really hard in your woodworking business. There are going to be seasons that you are not balanced, you are out of balance, and that is okay. Being out of balance at times is okay. What is not okay is staying there for long durations, neglecting people that you love, neglecting your health, and basically getting burnt out, right? That's what we want to avoid. I'm not saying you have to stay in perfect balance all the time, because I don't believe it's possible if you're going to grow something. But what you need to do is have enough self-awareness to recognize when you maybe have been in a season of unbalance and to come back to a place of balance. Okay, so that's number 1. That's the first key I want to give you. The second key is to set proper expectations with those closest to you. This was a game changer for my wife and I. And so right when I first started trying to grow my woodworking business, I was just working really, really hard and not really communicating. And she'd expect me to come in from the garage at 6, 7 o'clock, and I would stay in the garage till 11 o'clock, right? She'd expect me to not work on the weekends, and I'd wake up and start working all day Saturday and work all day. I was just dumb and didn't communicate what I was thinking I was going to do. And so she had expectations of what she thought I was going to do, and then that I had expectations of what I knew I was going to do, and those just didn't get communicated. One thing that I've learned with my wife in particular is that if I feel like I'm about to enter into a season of a little bit of imbalance, where I'm working really hard towards something, or I'm giving a lot of my time and attention to something, that's when I'll have a conversation with her and I say, hey, just a heads up, this week is going to be a busy week. This month is going to be a little bit of a crazy month. We got all kinds of stuff happening. These are the conversations that prime and prep a family member or kids or a spouse to understanding where you are. And then not just leaving at that, but then also saying, when we get through this, we're going to celebrate. We're going to spend a lot of time. We're going to break away and have a retreat, or we're going to go do something fun, or you need to be able to also with your family kind of set up a reward system of like, hey, if you can be patient with me during this season of work, during this season of growth, then we're going to celebrate together and we're going to go do this thing. And what you want is you want your family to support your season of growth. You don't want your family to be resentful toward you and your season of growth. That is what drives wedges in between marriages. That is what causes a ton of confusion and frustration. You want to be able to be clear about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and how it's going to benefit the family as a whole, and why it should matter to them. Or like for me right now, I'm trying to get healthy again. I'm trying to really get back on my grind with my fitness. So I'm working out, trying to eat better. I'm trying to make good decisions. Well, it just requires a lot of bandwidth. It just requires a lot of energy for me to do that. So I'm not able to give as much in other areas. But my my wife was on board with it. Yeah, I want you to take care of yourself. I want you to be healthy. I want you to get healthy. So now when we're actually walking through that process of feeling imbalanced, she has grace for me and can cover me with that. So number 2 is making sure that you set proper expectations with those that are closest to you. And then number 3, this one is so important, guys, and I cannot emphasize this enough, but you need to take a break every week. I call this a Sabbath. I'm a Christian, I'm a pastor, and the Bible is clear that we should honor the Sabbath, which means that we should take a day and we should rest. God intended for you to rest. When we take a Sabbath, I feel like it does a couple things for us, okay? So number 1, it allows us to think. So often what happens is when we get into a rhythm of just working all day, every day, 7 days a week, we never lift our head up out of the weeds long enough to actually get vision again of where we want to go. And so we're in it so much that we don't ever really think about it or think on it or dream again. So I really believe that by taking a Sabbath and by resting one day, you allow yourself to get your head up out of the weeds and kind of think and ponder and question why you're doing things. And is this the direction that I want to continue to go? Is this what I want to be doing? This is really, really, really important. And the second thing that allows you to do is it allows you to reconnect with your family. It allows you to slow down and snuggle your kids on the couch. It allows you to have meaningful conversations with your spouse. Hey, how are you? How's your heart? How have you been this week? What's been on your mind? What are you anxious about? What are you nervous about? What are you excited about right now? These are conversations that if you're not having with your spouse, guys, you need to be having with your spouse. These are important conversations that help you stay connected on a heart level to your spouse. And then lastly, when you take a sabbatical, I really feel like it honors God. What we do when we take a sabbatical is we establish that we trust God with our finances. When we show God and we demonstrate to the Lord that we trust Him with our finances, we trust Him with our effort, God can do more with your 6 days of work and trust for Him than He can for your 7 days of work and your lack of trust for Him. I'm a very logical guy, but I've seen the Lord do things that I can't explain when I trust Him with the Sabbath. Whether you're a Christian or not, you're welcome here on this channel. I'm a pastor, I'm a Christian. Those are my values, those are my beliefs. And so we're gonna help you grow a woodworking business. And we're gonna help you try to balance your life the best way possible. But man, I'm gonna talk about my relationship with Jesus and with the Lord. I love the Lord, He's changed my life. And so with that, this is what I believe the 3 keys to balancing growing a woodworking business and the rest of your life. So just to recap, understanding seasonality. You're gonna have seasons of imbalance, that's okay. Don't shame yourself or feel guilty for it, but make sure that you're setting proper expectations with those closest to you during that time, letting them know the why behind what you're doing, and also make sure that you come out of that with a time of celebration and a time where you reconnect really, really well. And then lastly is make sure that you're resting every week. Take a Sabbath, take a day off. It's going to be okay. You're going to get where you need to go. Take a day off. God's got you covered. So with that being said, guys, if you are trying to grow your woodworking business, I've got a couple resources in the links below. First one is going to be the free ebook, Handmade Business Secrets. Be sure to check that out. It's about a 95-page ebook that's really going to help you on your journey. Number 2 is the Handmade Hero Academy. If you are looking for an entry-level program that's going to help you get your first woodworking, like high-ticket sale, go check that out. It's going to be super, super helpful for you. And if you're ready to really dive in and scale and grow your operations at a major level, increase your sales dramatically, be sure to check out the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. That is our flagship program. I think we have almost 50 guys in the program active right now. And so really excited about everybody that's hopping in there, and we're seeing some crazy things happen inside the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. So with that being said, love you. I appreciate you. If this was helpful, leave me a comment below, let me know, and I'll talk to you in the next video. See you soon.